First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you all for joining us. We do appreciate it. Of course, we are live here every weekday, starting at 1 p.m., going throughout the afternoon, covering a wide range of topics. You can find us on the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel. You can find us at kptv.com under the Fox 12 Now tab or the Fox 12 Oregon app, which you can download on pretty much any platform that you are on. But, you know, we're approaching the end of summer here. I know a lot of people are talking about college football and NFL, but to me, that means basketball is just around the corner, and that's what we're going to be talking about right now. The Rip City Remix season kicking off here in November. We're going to do a little preview of that. We've got Reggie Walker, the Senior Director of Marketing and Operations. Wanted to make sure I got that title right. Joining us here to talk about that. And, you know, thank you very much for being here. And, you know, I got to ask, you know, this time of year, as you're getting ready here for, I guess, the second season, you know, where are you guys at just as an organization?
No, great question. This is actually our first off season, having completed our inaugural season last year. So we're just in preparation mode, trying to get everything organized from an operational standpoint, and then drum up interest from a marketing standpoint heading into the second season.
Well, looking at it, you know, again, like you mentioned, this is the first off season that you've had. I mean, and the first inaugural season, I mean, it was kind of a shortened window there from like, okay, we've got a team and boom, here's a season. We got to produce this entire thing, you know, and I want to get into the player side too, but before that, you know, for you, now that you do have this off season, you've had a little bit of time. What do you think are some of the biggest things that you learned from that first season to now take into the second season?
A great question. I think we learned a ton. I think one of the biggest challenges was just identifying who our fan base is. We having no blueprint or no games played previously, or creating a brand new brand. We had no idea what to expect. So just heading into that first game, like, we were just curious, you know, who were some of the fans that were going to be in attendance. And throughout the course of the year, I think we saw that we developed like a pretty loyal fan base with the Hamfruit Nation folks who have been awesome supporting us. A lot of those people are season ticket members. And then our games, especially with the low price point and the game times, especially on the weekends, like Saturday and Sundays that we tip at 3 p.m., very family oriented, like atmosphere. And I think we just discovered, you know, who our fans are and like how to target them and reach them the right way.
And, you know, and certainly you did. I mean, you did develop that, you know, that fan base there and learning who it is, because that's hard for anything going off one season, as you mentioned, you know, not knowing exactly what that's going to be. But obviously Rip City Remix have, you know, found a good home here, and it's a good fit with the community. And I think that's one aspect I did want to just touch on really quick, is that community involvement. You talked about it a little bit there, but how important is that community involvement for the Rip City Remix?
No, it's huge. And that's where we focused a lot of our efforts on this off season. Like you said, we had a expedited timeline heading into the season last year. We actually had some time to go out in the community, you know, interact with our fans. We went to a bunch of street fairs, pop-up markets, 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, mostly centered around Northeast Portland, you know, with our games being at the Child Center in North Portland. We wanted to kind of target in on that community. But it was just cool to see, you know, people I think are aware that we're here now. At this time last year, even though we existed on paper, I don't think people had, you know, obviously they hadn't experienced it, but they hadn't like touched it or felt it. So now we have, you know, collateral, we have, you know, little mini stress basketballs, logo pens with our logos on it, a tent, just like branded items that we can show people like, hey, we are here and we're real. And then in our marketing efforts, we have like actual, you know, footage of players playing in our games, wearing our uniforms, you know, fan shots, those kind of things. So it's just been cool to kind of build brand awareness. That was our key initiative this off season. I think we did that, like immersing ourselves within the community.
And obviously, yeah, you did. And so it's now a known quantity, you know, the Remix are there. But for going to the basketball side of things, you know, for people who are going to a game, you know, obviously they're going to be fans of basketball, but this is a little bit different than seeing an NBA game for some special ways. Can you give everyone just an idea of that, of what it is like to go attend a Remix game?
Sure. I think the level of basketball is like very impressive. I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways from someone who maybe has never experienced the G League game or is maybe unfamiliar with like the G League brand, it is the second best league in the world for basketball. The NBA being the top, the G League it's like the minor league system for the NBA, being right underneath that. We actually had 8 players that played for the Trailblazers and with the Remix last season. I think over 50% of the players that are in the NBA on rosters right now have played in the G League at one point or another in their careers. So the level is super high. I mean, it's a bunch of former lottery picks. Maybe some NBA journeymen trying to make it back to the NBA. But yeah, I think the level of play is very elevated. I also think the pace of play and just the overall like athleticism and hunger of the players is like would jump out at you. I mean, these are guys that maybe have gotten a cup of coffee in the NBA or trying to make it back to the NBA. Like they want to showcase their skills. And our games are super high scoring, super entertaining, and it looks and feels like an NBA game, like with the level of athlete. It's just a little bit, smaller of an arena. Maybe the game presentation isn't quite so elevated. It's a little less corporate with the number of timeouts and those kind of things. But it is a super high level of play.
Yeah, I think to me that's a couple of the key things that you just hit on right there. I mean, what these are world class athletes, who either a lot of them were already in the NBA or fighting to get the NBA, and I think that's another key thing there too, is that they're really playing for this to get back into that next level that they want to get to, whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. So that's a really fun thing to see, and at the same time, you're getting a bit of a closer experience than you would. The Child Center is not the Moda Center. You're actually
Right.
you're a lot closer there to the action, to what's going on. It feels a lot more tangible, a much more tangible experience to me, I think, than nothing against NBA games. I love Blazer games too, but this is just a different kind of experience in that it feels closer.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about the G League, especially where we play at the Child Center in North Portland, on campus in the University of Portland. We do, you can hear everything the players say, even if you're sitting in the 25th row, especially if you're courtside. I just don't think you get that at the Moda Center or really any NBA arena. So you can hear the players talk. You can definitely hear the coaches talk. You can hear the dialogue between the players and the officials. You can hear like the squeaks on the floor. It is a very intimate environment. I think the Child Center like lends to that. And within our game presentation, like we try to like lean into those like key elements of like attending a game. It is a very intimate setting. I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I love being able to hear what's being said on the court, whatever that may be. That's one of my favorite parts about that. Well, for people this year, looking forward to the season. It starts in November. We're obviously ramping up and leading up to it. What do you think are the biggest things that people can look forward to this year when it comes to the Rip City Remix season?
Yeah, well, our season tipped off in November, and we kind of mirror the Trailblazers schedule. Our games go from November through the end of March. We play all of our home games at the Child Center. And I think one of the things that we're really excited about is leaning into like the theme nights that we create to try to enhance our experience within the games. One of the things that we kind of struck gold on last year, which we're going to bring back this year, is the Remix Market. What we did is we basically had a bunch of vendors come in and set up tents or tables and sell everything from thrift gear to candles to we had food vendors, and they basically just set up shop on the top level, and we had a bunch of people come in, and I think we had over 40 vendors there take part. We called it the Remix Market. This year we're rebranding it the Remix Holiday Market. We're going to try to have it themed around maybe you can do some holiday shopping, and that'll take place December 7th for one of our Saturday 3 p.m. games. So just excited about themes like that which we can kind of use to create some interest and a good experience within the arena for our fans.
Yeah, so something else to add to that in addition to the basketball that we were just talking about, but getting that more involvement and community members too when it comes to vendors and things. That's really cool. Well, I think final thing I would ask what would be your pitch for someone to come out if they've never been to a Rip City Remix game? first time, maybe they're well aware of it, interested. What would be your pitch to them to come out for a game?
I think the first thing I'd say is just it's easy and affordable. Parking is free. You can show up 10 minutes before tip off, park your car, walk in through the arena with your ticket being scanned, and sit in your seat and be there in time for tip off. It's just a accessible, easy environment. I think it's intimate. We have affordable prices for our food and beverage. Like we sell a Remix branded beer through Backwoods. It's a Remix IPA. It's $7. We have just affordable excuse me, merchandise and food within the arena. It's just an accessible, easy, for lack of a better term, way into like professional sports, especially for those that have young kids. I think it's we try our best to create like a very family friendly environment. We have a kids zone where kids can kind of run around, and there's inflatables and mini basketball hoops and those kind of things, so you can literally drop your kid off, walk around the corner to the beer garden, have a beer, watch the game. Especially on the weekends, like it's post nap time. It's just a good, easy way for you to get out of the house, especially during those January, February, like doldrum months where the sun sets at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and
Right.
you really want to get out of the house. Just an easy, affordable way to go do that and really watch some high level basketball at the same time.
Love it. Well, for everybody out there, what's the best way for them to find out more about what's going on and get pick up their tickets and all of that?
Yeah, great question. RipCityRemix.com is like the central home for everything. You can follow us on all social platforms. Instagram and YouTube and Twitter are probably our most where you'd be able to get everything from, and that's just at Rip City Remix. Our schedule is posted there with all of our theme games. We did a cool schedule release video, which I encourage everyone to check out. And yeah, that's just the home for really all things Remix at Rip City Remix.
All right. Well, Reggie, thank you very much, for joining us to talk about this, and congrats on, a successful first season going into the second season. I'm sure there's a lot of work behind the scenes getting this all put together, but really looking forward to checking it out this year. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. This was great. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. And for everybody who's watching too, here, I'll just let everybody know we're going to take a break here. We'll be back at 1:30 p.m. if you're watching live, or if you're watching afterward. Great, you can watch all the segments, as they're recorded out there on demand. But at 1:30 p.m., we're going to be talking about Geek Week PDX, which you may not know has kicked off. It is what they are calling a citywide con, the world's first citywide con, according to them. Like 120 businesses are participating in it. So we're going to go through the details of that and how you can get involved. That's at 1:30 p.m. At 2 p.m. today, I said we cover a lot of random topics here, a lot of very different things. 2 p.m. we have Rob Halford from Judas Priest joining us. So you know what? There's lots going on here this afternoon, but we'll take a break. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.